morning, everyone, from Kenitra, Morocco. I am barely hanging in there because the tagine I ate yesterday did not agree with my stomach. Today's the day you've all been waiting for the finale of our Morocco series. We will be riding undoubtedly Morocco's most famous train, Al-Boraq, the fastest train not just in Morocco, but in the entire African continent. The only proper high-speed rail south of the Mediterranean. We're going to be riding it on its entire route, starting here in Kenitra, going up to Tangier, and then turning around and going all the way back to Casablanca. So, yalla! Here she is, the pride of Morocco. So I'm in first class for this first leg to Tangier, and then second class back to Casablanca. First class is right here at the rear of the train. Here's first class. Not a lot of people riding this early in the morning. So as you can see, these trains are double-decker, and we are on the top deck. Very similar to the We Go España train I rode last week. There's not a lot of people on board, so I just grabbed a random seat rather than the one I was assigned. The first class seats are in a 1-2 configuration. They're nice and wide, as you can see here. There's also a footrest, tray table, although my knees are this high up, the tray table doesn't go all the way flat. And then you can see the seat design kind of reflects the 5-pointed star of the Moroccan flag. There's also a charging port. I don't know if it works or not. I left my charger in my backpack, which is in the luggage rack over there. And here we are, pulling out of Kenitra. Al-Boraq opened in 2018. It's only about 4 years old as a service. It is definitely ONCF's most famous route for being the first high-speed rail in Africa. And the actual high-speed section is this section right here, from Kenitra to Tangier, which was built to high-speed rail standards. From Kenitra to Casablanca, the train actually runs on conventional rail, akin to the Acela Express of Amtrak. Okay, so I just noticed the switch on the armrest of my chair. I wonder what it does. Oh! Now, one thing I want to put out there for my audience, if you're commenting on this video or talking about this train in other rail fan circles, please be careful about how you talk about it, because I feel like sometimes discussions about Al-Boraq and high-speed rail in general can lead to sort of a sentiment of, how did Africa end up with high-speed rail before the US? And to that I would say, Morocco chose to build high-speed rail. We could have chosen to build high-speed rail, and we didn't. It's interesting how the dialogue about this train is different than dialogue about the Shinkansen or the TGV, which, you know, were also built by other countries, and which are technologies that we don't have in the US. And you don't really have the same sense of, how did they end up with it before us? I've really only ever heard that with this particular train. We don't deserve high-speed rail any more or less than the people of Morocco do. And to sort of imply that it's a weird or unjust thing for Morocco to have high-speed rail first is perhaps to imply that they don't deserve it as much as we do. Everybody deserves fast, frequent, reliable transportation. And I think that our country should follow Morocco's example in building it. Alright, we appear to be slowing down, coming into Tangier. Got about 8 minutes until we arrive at the station. So far, I have loved Al-Boraq. It's a very smooth ride, very pretty views, and looking forward to taking the return trip in a couple hours. And here we are in the port city of Tangier. This is the northern terminus of the Al-Boraq. And in about an hour, we're going to hop back on and head down to the southern terminus in Casablanca. But first, some food. Now, if these trains remind you of the TGV, that's because they are essentially the same design as the TGV double-decker trains. However, I believe they were modified to handle Morocco's hotter, drier, and dustier climate as compared to France. Here's the inside of the station, which includes a full-on green space inside the building. This station actually has a proper food court up a flight of escalators from the rest of the station. So let's go check it out. Well, looks like nothing is open. So I guess we're gonna have to find food in the city of Tangier itself. Alright, here we are in Tangier's old city. Definitely has a very European flair compared with Marrakesh or Fez, probably because it's much closer to Spain. And it was, I believe, under the control of 4 different colonial powers at the same time. Also, I gotta say, the city kind of smells like fish. Almost like we're near a very large body of water. I got a mango juice and an egg sandwich. Gonna polish those off and then head back to the train station. Tangier Station Incorporated. Alright, we are now in second class on the lower level and facing backwards. So this should be fun.
Yeah, how much I'm gonna give you next time? Maybe Saturday night drive.
سيداتي سادتي نذكركم أن
Alright, the exhaustion from last night is definitely catching up to me, but because content, let's check out the cafe car. Back in Kenitra. Then, like I said earlier, from here, we're going to be on conventional rail lines, similar to the Acela Express. The hope is to eventually have this be a fully high-speed line. I don't know whether that'll be further upgrades to the existing line or a parallel line in the future, but as of right now, we got a dedicated high-speed rail that way and conventional rail this way. Rabat! Now, if somebody in Morocco made an automated Twitter program, I wonder if they would call it a Rabat. Yeah, I'm really tired. So we just blitzed through a station where an Al-Atlas train was parked. I think part of the speed advantage for the Al-Boraq is similar to the Acela over the Northeast Regional in that it just makes fewer stops when it's on the conventional rail route. Also, interestingly, the announcements are only in French and Arabic, as opposed to Al-Atlas, the one I took to Oujda, where they were in French, Arabic, and English. That's kind of surprising, because I would imagine a lot less English speakers would be taking the train to Oujda versus riding the high-speed line. And here we are at Casablanca, Casa Voyageur Station. This is the terminus of Al-Boraq, although hopefully one day it will extend down to Marrakech, where I'm heading now on a standard Al-Atlas train. Gotta say, I really enjoyed my time on Al-Boraq, one of my favorite high-speed rail experiences to date, and definitely something that's worth checking out if you're ever in Morocco. Anyways, that brings us to the conclusion of this entire Morocco series. And my overall takeaway is that Morocco is a country that cares about its trains and is willing to invest in them. The Moroccan Northeast Regional held its own against the Northeast Regional. The Moroccan Southwest Chief had decent views and camaraderie on board. The Moroccan night train I took was really, really cool, minus the food poisoning. and the Moroccan Acela blows the Acela out of the water. So all in all, I gotta say, I bless the trains down in Africa. I'm really tired.